Hi, this is Praios and I'm a professional gambler. Today, our topic will be the top 5 poker delusions. This video was originally crafted by one of the greatest poker players, Galfond. Thanks for making this video, and we will watch it and I will say what I think about it. Before looking into this, I would say that one of the biggest delusions is that people are often very overconfident, and if they win, it's obviously due to skill, and if they lose, his opponent is still terrible. They never blame themselves, but they always think it just was due to bad luck. But yeah, let's see what Phil thinks about the topic. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into it.
All right, Phil, I've written a top 5 topic for you. You have no idea what it is. Let's see if we
don't
can
need
turn it into
subtitles, I
something
think.
good.
Let's do it.
Top 5 poker delusions. People think this is a viable strategy, but it's not.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Top 5 poker delusions. I would take this in a direction of not necessarily like a strategy or individual bit of wisdom that people are using too much, but kind of traps that people fall into that lead them to playing poorly. The first and kind of most obvious to me, I don't know the technical term for this, but selective memory, essentially. Whether it's with how you're running or how you're playing, people so often will see, okay, so I get all in with queens versus ace king, I'm 54% or whatever, and I win. All is right in the world, I move on. I don't consider myself lucky. But now I get all in with jacks against ace queen, I'm 54%, I lose this one. I remember that, okay, I was unlucky. And then looking back on this week, I can remember 6 times where I got unlucky. And I can remember 1 time where I got lucky because I got it in like with 10s against.
Yeah, I think he's right, but he's not explaining this very well. Usually, these coin flips are not what make people very mad, but the things that people get mad about and also come to the conclusion that all the poker sites are rigged is that they don't remember when they suck out. They just think that this is like fair or whatever, or the other guy deserved it, and it's erased from the brain and from memory, instantaneous. But stuff like if they lose 10%, I mean, if the opponent has 10% or 20%, I mean, they are huge favorites. They remember these things and they say this is always happening, although in reality this is not true, at least to my experience. Yeah, this is like conspiracy theory, and that's the selective memory. I mean, you remember way more vividly the bad things that happen to you, and not the good ones. I think the coin flips are not in this category, in my opinion. But yeah, otherwise, this is a good point.
Jacks, and like that was actually, I was only 20%. So like I remember that one, but you forget about all the times that something good happens to you.
By the way, I very, very vividly remember a hand where Phil sucked out on me with ace king. I had aces. This was me taking a shot at no limit hold'em. Listen, 100k on full tilt back in the day. The action goes like this. I think he raises from the button. I re-raise from the small blind. Big blind folds. Everyone else folds. Phil just calls, so he's a huge nit. Or he thinks that I am a huge nit. I mean, I think he cannot assume that I'm a nit because we did not play it a lot together. Anyways, he just called. Flop comes king something something, all with one suit. I don't have this suit. Phil has hit the king and also the 1 card nut flush draw. And yeah, end of story. We getting it in on the flop. I check to him. He bets. I raise all in, and yeah, he calls. And yeah, I end up losing. So yeah. So that about selective memory. If I won the hand, I might not remember. I mean, I would have probably forgotten.
When it kind of feels like it was supposed to happen. And so that's where people are delusional about how they're running, how lucky they are, how unlucky they are. And you see that everywhere, like all the way to the top of the game, honestly, from beginners to experts. So that's one. It's kind of delusions about how you're running.
I think it helps a lot if you have a poker tracking software like Holdem Manager, for example. By the way, what is the other one called? I personally use Holdem Manager, but there's also another one called Pokertracker. Both are great, also from the same company, so yeah, you don't do anything wrong. You have to get used to it, you have to work yourself in, you have to understand all the features, you have to build a great HUD, but once you use it, you will boost your game to the next level. So yeah, definitely get this program, and it would be very helpful if you use my affiliate link for sure. And yeah, anyways, these programs also help you to see through this illusion, because there you can read in every hand you played, and it will show you your EV. Are you running bad? Are you running good? No, there you can actually see for the last, whatever, 100k hands, if you ran good or bad, and not just this very subjective bullshit he's talking about.
And selective memory about how you're running. The next one is delusions and selective memory about how you're making reads on opponents. So you think that your opponent looks nervous, he's betting the river, and then he shows down a bluff, and you've confirmed that your read on him looking nervous was accurate because she showed down a bluff. But maybe another time in that session, somebody else looked nervous, and you're like, yep, I think she's bluffing, and she showed down, oh, she had a value bet. Okay, well, I'm just going to forget about that and move on. And actually, I will say some people are the opposite way. Some people who I think fall into the category.
I think also one big mistake making reads is that people, first impression matters a lot. If you do something very crazy the first hand or in the beginning of the session and people don't know you, and they think you are crazy, and this first impression will persist for a very long time, even if you play very solid and good afterwards, and they will probably call you lighter than they should. Okay, we got a message. Yes. Hey praios, love your channel, keep up the good work, your videos help so much. What are your thoughts on short deck poker? The game in the long run compared to PLO and No Limit Holdem. Have you tried it? I played it, I think once or something, but it was like in a game with friends, and yeah, I don't think this has a huge future. I mean, it's basically No Limit Holdem, but the hand strength goes more in the direction of PLO hands. I mean, you have better hands more often because the deck is smaller. I think you cut all the cards below 7 or something. Yeah, I mean, but honestly, I cannot judge because, yeah, I didn't play that much. I don't know if there is a lot of action. You probably have a better idea about short deck poker than I am. What I know is if you can get in these private games, people seem to love it. At least I saw some headlines about Tom Dwan and Ivy playing it. So maybe it's worth getting into it. As I said, I don't really know. Back to topic.
Category of kind of more anxious thinkers, more likely to tend towards worrying. Those people sometimes have selective memory in the opposite way, where maybe they make 3 good reads, but then they make 2 bad ones, and that uncertainty makes them think that they don't know what they're doing, and maybe they're right, maybe they're wrong.
It's also very important to remember that not all of your reads will be correct, but on average, your reads should help you more than they hurt. So yeah, you will be wrong sometimes, but you should be right more often than wrong. So that's what I'm trying to say. So yeah, you cannot be 100% accurate. I mean, you cannot, at least you are, if you, I mean, maybe if you are a soul reader, but I am not, and most other people aren't either. So yeah, don't blame yourself if you make a bad read. Yeah, but if your reads are very often bad, then you need to work on your reading ability.
But I find that people usually fall into one category or the other, where they're either remembering the good reads that they made and kind of reinforcing the reads they have on their opponents that they think they have, or they end up not getting to make reads, or they don't build up their kind of hand reading ability because every time they're wrong, it casts so much doubt in their mind and so much anxiety, so much worry that they don't develop those skills because they don't trust themselves enough.
Not sure if this is our delusions or if this is just some tips how to get better in poker, but yeah, still helpful. I am, for example, often not building enough reads, or let's say I'm not paying close enough attention or play too many tables. And yeah, my reads are often just based on the stats I have. But it definitely helps to make reads, and yeah, often you can pick up, for example, timing tells and stuff from your opponents, and yeah, this is something that can be very helpful. And yeah, especially if you play heads up, you should play very close attention, and it hurts your game very much if you play like 2 tables heads up and then a bunch of ring games. Then your opponent, if he's good and paying attention, will crush you. I mean, I'm talking from experience.
Number 3 is somewhat similar, but it's delusions about how you're playing. I mean, this is why gambling games are so tricky, and why you see the best players in the world playing against each other, both thinking that they have an edge. It's because it's so easy for us to be fooled by the game. You know, you're playing, and
yeah, that's the only delusion I would have listed. People are so overconfident, and ego plays such a big role. And poker also is a game of luck. I mean, it's not only luck, but it's a lot of luck involved too. So you can always blame a bad run when you're actually getting crushed because your opponent is making good reads and is the better player. So yeah. And I mean, even the EV is not reflecting luck. I mean, if you are always at the bad end of coolers, then you might still be being very unlucky, although the EV says that you are deserving to lose. But if you always have the set over set situations, then you are getting crushed. Or no limit hold'em, kings versus aces all the time, and you are always having kings. So yeah, you could be very unlucky, although the EV is not reflecting the fact. At least in the short run. In the long run, it should be even, the aces over kings and stuff. But yeah, in the short run, this also could hurt you a lot. Or you could just not hitting enough stuff. Maybe your opponent hits his set over proportionally often, and you hit your set way less often than the equities would say, and then you're also unlucky. I mean, if you basically never make a set and your opponent basically always hits a set, you're fucked. No matter how good you are and how bad he is.
You get into a spot on the river where you have a really good bluff opportunity, and you bluff, and it works, and you think, I'm great. But let's say you get into a really good bluff opportunity spot, and you bluff, and then your opponent calls with top, like they have a huge hand, they have top set, or they river to flush, and you're like, well, I got unlucky that they had a flush. This would have worked if they had a weaker hand. But what you're not thinking about is the time that it did work, maybe they missed a draw, maybe they had nothing, maybe you actually were bluffing with the best hand, maybe you didn't outskill them, it was just they didn't have it that time. And then the third thing that'll happen is you get into this really good bluff spot, you bluff, then your opponent calls with a really weak hand, and you think, wow, they're so bad, I can't believe that they called with this hand that's never supposed to call. And that's what you think. However, let's say
there could also be other factors involved, like timing tells, for example. He's right.
It's reversed and you're in that position and someone bluffs against you and you call with a really weak hand because you think you have a great read on them. You turn over your hand. You think, wow, I just made a great read.
Yeah, this situation is very sick always. I mean, if you make such a hero call, afterwards, you basically always feel like a genius, if it worked, or you feel like a complete idiot when he shows up with the nuts again and you made an absolute ridiculous call.
so good. They think, wow, he just called with a terrible hand. He's so bad. The truth is we don't know exactly where the truth is, but the point is that the lens that you see it through is often going to mislead you. And so you have to be very careful the way that you play and the way that others play. This fourth, I'll call a benefit of the doubt delusion. Let's say that your good friend who you talk poker strategy with all the time tells you about this hand they played. It seems like a hand, like if you saw somebody else play it, you would think that they played it badly. But since you know your friend is smart and good at poker, when they tell you that they played it this way, or you see them play it this way, maybe they don't even talk to you about it, you give them the benefit of the doubt because you know that they think through the game and probably had a good reason for that. Maybe you don't understand the reason. And generally it's okay. It's good actually to have some wonder, to not just label and judge every play that you see as bad, because sometimes there is a good reason for a play that you don't understand. But what happens is we give the benefit of the doubt to our friends, to people we know, and to ourselves when we play a hand badly or play a hand that appears as if we played it badly. But anytime we see an opponent play a hand badly, we don't give them the benefit of the doubt. We think, okay, he's dumb.
I usually don't give the benefit of a doubt delusion to me, I think. I mean, I am always having a very analytical approach. And yeah, I mean, you can rationalize some things, but if I get unlucky, or if I have a lot of coolers, lose a lot of money, no problem. I'm not tilted at all and not mad at me. But if I play bad and if I realize in hindsight, then I really get mad with myself and very unlucky with the results. So, and I also always check afterwards. I do all the math. I look at the solvers. By the way, we also got them in the description. And yeah, so there is not that much room nowadays actually for the benefit of a doubt, because you can analyze spots. I mean, the result can differ depending on the assumptions you put in. But if you start with the same assumptions, there usually is just one right answer, I would say.
Okay, that I want to be in this game against this guy because he doesn't know what he's doing. What happens in reality is, like, sometimes I'll play a hand badly, and immediately after the hand, I will know, oh, I made a mistake there. And I know exactly why. So that's okay. I know exactly why I made the mistake. I know it's a mistake. I'm not bad at poker. I just made a mistake. Yet when...
Yeah, by the way, this is not a delusion, but very important. The guys who are most successful in poker are the ones who are constantly willing to learn and who are very critical about themselves. So you have to be curious and willing to learn, and don't be stubborn. Just do the thing the same way all the time because you did it this way always. This is not how it should work. It should work this way. You're constantly questioning the decisions you made, and if you find a better, more EV maximizing method or bet size or whatever, or line, then you should do this next time instead of the one that was proven to be suboptimal. But many players don't think this way. They are just like, okay, this worked fine in the past, so this has to be work fine in the future, blah blah. And yeah, that's not how it works. That's also, we would have no progress in the world if everyone thought like that. But many people are like this. So if you are in a company and some process was always handled this and that way, although another way would be way more efficient, but people don't want to change it because they are used to it. This is not a good way to approach poker. because other people are smart enough to doing it the right way, and you will get crushed in the long run if you don't continuously learn. This is, by the way, not only for poker, but for your whole life. You have to continuously learn and get used to new things and adapt to new situations.
We see our opponent do that. That's not what we think. We don't think, oh, they understand this, but they just made a mistake this time. We think, oh, they don't understand this, they're bad. And that happens throughout sessions. Like, I make mistakes multiple times every hour that I play. It depends on the format of game I'm playing, but like, I'm making mistakes all the time. And they're either because I didn't realize something in time, or I'm distracted, or I didn't understand a specific spot. There are tons of reasons why you make mistakes all the time. It's because we're human. But we give ourselves the benefit of the doubt, either because we know the reason we made the mistake, or we...
Yeah, that's also a thing where you can get a great poker player. If I have a situation where I'm only slightly unsure about the correct play, I usually put it into a solver and do analysis and look into it in great detail. Most people are not that hungry and are not willing to learn. That's why I am better than most other players. I mean, at least I used to. I mean, nowadays I don't do this at that much or at all anymore because I'm not playing poker anymore. But yeah, when you want to be ahead of the competition, do what I say.
We know that, oh, I didn't understand that situation. But that's a really hard situation. I don't understand it. It's really hard. But yet, if we understand when our opponent makes a play that's bad, I don't know, we don't give them that benefit of the doubt. So yeah, I'm calling it the benefit of the doubt illusion. And it allows us to think we have more of an edge than we do, and think our friends have more of an edge than they do, because we're giving us
Yeah, I'm not playing anymore. I mean, I think it would be fun to play again, but yeah, first thing is it's not as profitable anymore than in the past. Second, I have even less time than a few years ago because of a lot of private, personal stuff. Third, so many sites banned me because I was being quite successful in their casino. For example, I cannot play on PokerStars anymore. And I also don't have a good iPoker skin anymore. So basically the only site I got left is GG Poker, and GG Poker I find kind of, shady. Yeah, let's say for me shady is the right word. And I also cannot play high stakes on GG because the rake is too high. I mean, I think it's not profitable possibly on GG, or at least way less profitable, because the rake is insane. I mean, if you pay 1k rake on PLO 1k per hand, it's just insane. On other sides, this would be like $5. On GG, it's 1k. This is very hard to beat. And even guys like Janendes, who accidentally showed a graph on his stream, were not winning on GG. He just was making a profit when you also include rakeback. I'm also not sure if he's getting more rakeback than the normal dude, because he's sponsored pro. I'm not. And I don't want to make my money by grinding and producing rakeback. I want to win and crush. And it's hard to crush if you play so much rake. I mean, you have to beat your opponents and also the rake. And what another factor is, GG does not allow bum hunting. So this is another thing I mean, I could play there, but I have to be very selective with the games, but I'm not allowed to due to their rules, and people got their money confiscated because of doing that. So another reason to not play on GG. So that's why there are not many sites left. I mean, I could play on, how is it called? Winning Poker Network. Yeah, I played there a lot, but I think there's a lot of collusion going on. They don't have a proper security team. So there are not many options. I mean, I could go to the shady apps or stuff, but not very willing to go in there. And the apps also have huge rake and even more problems associated with them. I mean, you have to trust the game organizer as well. And if some of the whales, often they get credit, don't pay, then how to pay the winning players? So yeah, a lot of problems with that, with all that. Yeah, originally I'm from Germany. I lived a long time in Austria, and yeah, for privacy reasons, I don't want to disclose where I'm living now.
And them the benefit of the doubt while we're not giving it to our opponents. The fifth delusion is what I would call delusion about why you're playing. And so this is something that I was taught by the great Tommy Angelo. Let's say you've been playing for
Delusion, why you are playing? Okay.
8 hours, and you're playing like $200, like $1, $2 blinds, so 200 no limit hold'em, and you're down 10, you're down $2,000. There's no way you're going to win $2,000 back. You're miserable, and you've been so unlucky, and you're starting to get a little tired, but you don't want to leave because, right, you want to get even. You want a chance, like, you don't want to leave a loser. So what you do is you think, all right, well, I'll just play, you know, I'm exhausted now and I have to get home in an hour and a half anyways.
Yeah, that's definitely a huge mistake. People are often chasing losses like crazy. And if they are up, they are ready to quit the session after like 20 minutes or something. Yeah, that's definitely stupid. But yeah, the human brain works this way, and you have to, rationalize. I mean, you have to make yourself. I mean, how do I say this at best? You have to force yourself to think about stuff rationally and not with your heart, because losses always hurt more than winnings. So that's why you want to chase it back. This is from human psychology, and if you win, if you win or lose the same amount, it's not causing the same pain. If you lose, like say 10k, it's causing a lot of pain, but if you win it, you don't get the same pleasure. So it's like people are risk averse, and at least most of the people are, and that's why, yeah, you losses hurt a lot more, and you trying to chase them back at all cost. And yeah, this is a delusion or a mistake you make, but if you know how this thing works, you can avoid it. And yeah, force yourself to make the right decision. And by the way, got a second channel too. It's about investing, money, cryptocurrency and stuff. It has way too less, it has not enough subscribers yet. And yeah, I put so much effort and time in any of this research. I mean, often I do this research for myself. For example, in this new Aptos video, I invested so much time researching all the things, and I shared it with you. I mean, I put in many, many hours, and anyone who is interested and trying to figure out if you should invest once the token comes available, that's the video you should log, I think. I mean, there's not, and basically all my reviews, I put so much time in there, way more than in the live streams here. So yeah, definitely check this out if you are interested in investing in crypto as well. Okay, moving on with the video.
But I'll just play another hour. What you're telling yourself is, oh, this is good. You know, I'm earning money in this game on average. Like if you're a pro or a semi-pro or...
Yeah, I think if you are earning money on average, but if you go below the threshold, if you are like on B game or C game or tilt or whatever, and you are not making money anymore, you should quit. But it's very hard to see through it in the situation. You might think, I'm still fine, I'm playing good, but in reality you aren't, so you're lying to yourself. But sometimes there are very, very huge fish on your table, and you just can't quit, even if you are falling asleep on the table, because there might be people that are so bad that you can beat them even on D game or something. So yeah. Focus on after college. sorry, villain of a year. Can't really, comment on that. I mean, I got a degree in economics, but I never worked in any area myself. So yeah, I cannot recommend where you put your focus on. But yeah, I basically just were a gambler my whole life, and now I'm also an investor in crypto and mainly stocks. But yeah, unfortunately, cannot help you with that. I wish I could.
You think you're winning the game. You're thinking, oh, I'm earning money in this game on average, so it's good for me that I keep playing because I'm earning. And you also want to play, so you're finding justification for it. You want to get even. You don't want to quit when you're losing. But the way that Tommy puts it, and
I mean, this is actually not the case for me. I can concentrate and feel good playing for like 3 or 4 hours, and then I'm exhausted and I don't want to continue playing. And I would usually quit after this time, take a break, come back, or come back the next day. But if games are too juicy, I just don't quit because, yeah, if I assume that I'm still winning and if there are a lot of spots available that are not there any day, the next day, then I continue. But yeah, I'm proud of myself and I don't fall into this trap very often.
I like so much is, okay, you're playing 200 NL. Let's say you have a 10 big blind per 100 win rate and you're playing 30.
Yeah, coming back to the finance undergrad question, I also think it's very hard to say. I mean, what are you focusing on? What do you want in life? Do you want to make the most money? I think then it is obvious in which area you should go. Or do you want something that is fun and which, I mean, it's not often the same. I mean, it could be the same, but it does not have to. Do you want to have something that you like to do? Or do you want something where you make the most money? And for most people, this is not the same thing. And in general, I would recommend you to do the thing what suits you and which you enjoy, and not the thing that makes the most money, because it's hard for the rest of your life to do something that you don't enjoy, but only do for the money. So maybe this was some advice that is helpful from someone who, I mean, I would not say never worked really, but yeah, not work in the traditional sense at least.
30 hands an hour. That means that you've got like a $6 an hour win rate. So you're down $2,000 and you want to play an extra hour so that you can earn $6. That's really what you're trying to do. And when you
But $6 an hour is a very low win rate. I mean, who is playing poker for that? I mean, you can go to McDonald's and get a better wage.
You can frame it like that in the reality of the situation. You realize, oh no, actually, I'm miserable and I'm tired, and I don't want to sit here for another hour.
Yeah, but it's good to get another perspective. This was a good example on how you could condition yourself to not continue playing, especially because you are now tired and exhausted and things, and your win rate might not be as high as before, and you only earn $1 now.
Down $2,000 to win $6 back. And that's the way you have to think about it. You have to think of it in terms of your theoretical earn. And actually, it's in reality, what happens is you're probably not even earning your expected win rate because you're tired and you're miserable and you're going to play worse. You're going to play scared, or you're going to play too loose, or you're going to punt your stack off. So you might even be losing on average, just however good the game is. Like, never let yourself off the hook to just think, oh, whatever, I'll just stick around another hour. Think it through. Think through the decision, because every decision you make is not only a decision about, how much money you're going to make or lose during that time, but
yeah, it's a very it's a saying. I don't know who said that, but yeah, it basically reflects the thing he's talking about. It's one big session. You don't have to play all same day. You can come back the next day, in 1 month, in 1 week. It doesn't matter. you should play when you are performing best and not when you performing worst, unless the circumstances are in a way that you have to continue, for example, playing a big way.
Decision about your life and your happiness, and a lot of people in that spot. I mean, I've been there. You're not enjoying yourself at that moment, and if you leave, you leave and you've lost, and that's too bad. But you can go live the rest of your life and get back to the tables the next day or whenever it may be, that much healthier and that much quicker.
So, Phil, does that mean as a player you're more pessimistic or optimistic?
Yeah, I'm more pessimistic. Definitely more of the. So I think in a lot of, I think everybody thinks they're unlucky. So I think I fall victim to that too. I think, like, I remember when I'm unlucky and I forget some of the times I'm lucky, and so.
So he thinks he's unlucky. By the way, I could actually prove that I'm unlucky. I was down so much in EV lifetime. But yeah, for many players, this is actually not true because it should even out, or some are even very lucky. I remember one of the coaches of, what was the site called? Lego Poker or something? He posted a graph where he was playing like PLO high stakes and also a lot on PLO 100k and stuff. And he was up this year for like couple of million, 6 million or something, and his EV was like 1 million. So I would love to run like this. But yeah, for me it was always the other way around. I mean, not that bad, but yeah, I think lifetime I'm probably at least 1 million under EV. But yeah, can't prove it anymore because I don't have all the hand histories anymore. But yeah, I remember that my EV graph always looked very bad back in the day. Not sure if it's a software issue. I don't think so. So yeah.
I know that I fall victim to the delusion of, I run better than I think I do. I've been more lucky than I think I have. But as far as assessing skill, I think very often I fall into the camp of worrying and being anxious and doubting myself more than I should. It's good to doubt yourself, like some healthy skepticism and questioning of your own game is good. But
by the way, I have more poker delusions for you. Many people think it makes sense to play against people who are way better than themselves to train or something. I mean, I hear this all the time, but I think it's just stupid. Why should you do that? Play against people below your level and try to avoid better players at all costs. And before you mess with them, get better first. I mean, I also don't see how you get better playing these dudes. So I never understood this logic, but yeah, many people still use it. I mean, it might have been true when the poker theory and the solvers and all the software wasn't evolved that much, but it is now, and you can learn a lot of stuff off the table, and you don't need to play other people who are probably also only playing blinds that are above your limit to learn something. So that's insanely stupid to do. I mean, at least in my opinion. But yeah, you can convince me otherwise, maybe. Yeah, it looks like we are at the end of the video. Like, subscribe, follow, all the good things. Bell notification, yeah. If you don't have any poker software to help you with your game, yeah. All the necessary links are below. I mean, not for No Limit Holdem, but at least for PLO, the main game I played the last years. Yeah, thanks for watching, turning out. Until next time, bye-bye.